right, so I'm gonna take a kettlebell press and make it into something that has worked for me to be a little bit less stiffening and a little bit more like fluid in my running. So a traditional kettlebell press is where you take your kettlebell, usually from the ground, your hand is kind of holding the kettlebell right in this little gap right here. So the handle and the horn is going to be sitting like right, basically you're just going to be matching that in a way. So this kettlebell is going to be sitting not right here on your wrist bone, but in this little like meaty like ligament part. So that's where your kettlebell is racked. I like to, instead of racking it here, I personally like to keep it just close to the core. That will stabilize the pelvis, especially if you're breathing through the diaphragm. Now, traditionally, press is where you keep everything as still as possible and you press the bell overhead as you exhale, just like this. Awesome way to get strong. Maybe one of the best exercises with the kettlebell. I like to add the coiling effect. So that's basically where you're taking your lats and your obliques and blending them together to kind of flex into this side of your abs. So instead of side bending and instead of just twisting, it's kind of a blend of each one. I like to think of putting my elbow almost like I'm trying to put it back into my back pocket, which I can't obviously. So that way there's that blend of side bending and twisting. So it's just like closing this gap underneath the rib and like trying to squeeze my thumb almost. So from here, I'm going to stretch out my opposing hand. Remember, running and walking is where the arms are swinging like separate of each other. So that's where this arm is down, this one is up. I keep my bicep beside my ear and I'm coiling here. So again, I'm trying to tuck that elbow in, and as I press, I'm using my opposite side to coil down on this side. So that way the whole system is working together. So then come down and come up, just like that. Head stays still, bicep stays beside the ear. I'd love to use that just for that proprioception of where my arm is at. That way it's not back here or up here or over here. So a lot of the same principles apply, but there's a literal twist. Now, when I like to really add some toughness into it, obviously just go to a heavier kettlebell, but take your propulser, 12 ounces, put your middle finger almost like a spray can. So here I'm going to stretch out. So basically shortening this side, lengthening this side. But now as I'm pressing, I'm pulling down the propulser as hard as I can. And that audible feedback is showing you the quality of movement. So it's not going to sound like that. It's not going to sound quiet. Like your idea is to hear that audible snap. So just like that, and it actually creates more power on this side right here. So now I'm coiled here. Just like that. You'll want to do the opposite side just to balance out. If you don't have a kettlebell, do the same thing with propulsors. So just like that. Makes it just as tough. But there's the difference of working on the fast twitch and the slow twitch muscles. The kettlebell gets those slow twitch muscles, gets the strength, gets the bone density. These guys are working on that plyometric fast twitch muscles. So take that, maybe add a little spin into your